When we imagine the great naval conflicts of the Second World War, our minds often conjure images of immense and powerful machines. We see the colossal battleships, their decks bristling with guns. We picture sleek aircraft carriers. Fighters roar off flight decks. These are the giants of the sea. Yet, amidst this grand theater of steel and fire, there existed a much smaller, quieter participant, a tiny aircraft, often overlooked but utterly essential. The Vought OS2U Kingfisher, humble but vital, not built for dogfights or heavy bombing. Its purpose was subtle, observational, designed to be the eyes of the fleet, scouting over the curve of the earth, serving as a spotter, directing thunderous salvos, an angel of mercy, rescuing downed airmen and stranded sailors. Today, we'll explore its history through the lens of this detailed scale model and the incredible real-life missions it flew. A small shape with a very long shadow over naval aviation. In the era before the widespread use of sophisticated radar and satellite surveillance, a Navy's vision was severely limited. A lookout perched high in a ship's crow's nest could only see to the horizon. An enemy fleet or a single submarine could be lurking just beyond view. To fight effectively, navies needed eyes in the sky. This fundamental requirement was the very reason for the Kingfisher's existence. The Vought OS2U Kingfisher was a masterpiece of simple, practical design. A mid-wing monoplane, its single wing attached to the middle of the fuselage, with its most prominent feature beneath. A large single float under the fuselage, and two smaller floats fixed near the wingtips. This layout let the Kingfisher operate confidently from the open sea. Its airframe used extensive spot welding, creating a smooth aerodynamic skin that resisted salt water better than rivets. Two seats in tandem under a long glazed canopy for excellent visibility, with a rear canopy that could slide open so the observer could operate a flexible rear-facing machine gun. He carried the radio and navigational tools to plot courses and positions. Power came from a single Pratt & Whitney R985 Wasp Junior radial engine, with a top speed of about 164 miles per hour. Launching from a battleship or cruiser was dramatic and violent. The aircraft seated on a trolley atop a long track, and an explosive gunpowder cartridge hurled it to flying speed. Inside, the crew felt a sudden, immense G-force. Recoveries were delicate. The ship turned to make a calm lee. The Kingfisher landed and taxied alongside, and the observer caught and attached the crane hook. In every major Pacific campaign, from the Coral Sea to Leyte Gulf, the Kingfisher was there. It spotted for the big guns at the Battle of the Philippine Sea, the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot. Flying high over the target area, observers watched shell falls and radioed precise corrections. Across the Atlantic, the threat was the stealthy U-boat. Slow speed became an advantage for patient searches. Crews scanned for the feather of a periscope, a thin oil sheen, signs of a hunter below. While lightly armed, Kingfishers could carry 100 DRLB bombs, or 325 lb depth charges. They attacked surfaced subs, or marked submerged contacts for escorts to finish. Every convoy that arrived safely, every U-boat turned away, was a small victory. April 1944, Truck Lagoon. Lieutenant John A. Burns, flying from USS North Carolina, stood lifeguard. As carrier strikes raged, reports of downed airmen poured in. Inside a hornet's nest of flak, Burns flew straight in, landed near a raft of 3, and pulled them aboard. Then more calls. He took off again, dangerously overloaded. He made several trips, each a gamble against enemy fire and the limits of his tiny plane. He crammed men into the rear cockpit, even had others lie on the wings, gripping the struts. Burns taxied survivors across the lagoon to a submarine rendezvous point. By day's end, Burns and his radio man, AR-2C Aubrey J. Gill, had rescued 10 airmen. For this courage, Burns received the Navy Cross. October 1942, Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, America's WWII ace, ditched in the Pacific. 7 men drifted for 24 harrowing days. Starvation, dehydration, sun, and circling sharks. Lieutenant William F. Eadie, VS-210, flying near Funafuti, spotted the rafts. Too rough to land and too small to carry all, he marked the position with smoke. Eadie guided a PT boat in. Rickenbacker and his crew were saved. The news lifted a nation. A reminder of peril, and of search and rescue's importance. Though he did not lift them aboard, the Kingfisher was the critical link, the eye that found a needle in the sea. A small, slow plane in a war of speed and power, fragile beside Hellcats and Corsairs. Armed with little more than a pea shooter, flying into danger. Incredible bravery. Pilots saving lives against impossible odds. The Kingfisher was a lifeline, a scout, a spotter, faithful, ever-present. The battleship's eye, the pilot's savior, an unsung hero of two oceans. Its greatest virtue was reliability. The Wasp Jr. was famously robust, the airframe rugged and easy to maintain. When a critical mission came, a Kingfisher was almost always ready. It rescued, trained, patrolled, ran courier hops, even flew light anti-submarine attacks. With floats or conventional wheels, it launched from cruiser catapults or dusty island strips. But it was slow, about 164 miles per hour, and nearly unarmed. A Japanese Zero could fly more than twice as fast, making the Kingfisher vulnerable without cover. Typically one forward .30 caliber and a similar rear gun. Not enough against cannon-armed fighters. Pilots survived by skill, caution, and luck, flying low over the water, ducking into clouds, hugging the fleet's AAA umbrella. As the war closed, improved radar diminished the need for slow visual scouts. Radar-directed gunnery, and soon, guided missiles, changed over-the-horizon warfare. Helicopters arrived, hover, vertical takeoff and landing, no catapult required. They could pluck survivors directly from the water and operate from smaller ships in rougher seas. The rise of the helicopter ended the era of ship-launched observation seaplanes. Kingfishers retired quickly. Battleships entered twilight. Catapult doctrine faded into history. Its legacy isn't obsolescence. It's vital service at a critical time. The pinnacle of a necessary craft. Today, the Kingfisher lives on in museums and in the memories of those who served. A detailed 1/48 scale model connects us to its engineering, the catapult spools, observer's canopy, and gun mount. Markings can tell specific stories. Burns at truck, Rickenbacker's rescue, a battleship's air group. The Vought OS2U Kingfisher wasn't the fastest or fiercest, but it was the faithful servant of the fleet and a lifeline for stranded airmen. If you enjoyed this dive, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Comment which unsung warplane we should cover next.